I waited 40 years for this. The freedom, the peace, no more meetings, no deadlines, no alarm clock blaring at 6:15 every morning. I thought retirement would feel like flying, but within the first 2 weeks, it felt like falling. The first Monday felt like a dream. I slept in, took my time with breakfast, made a fresh pot of coffee just for me. No rush, no stress, just quiet. It was everything I thought I wanted. But by week 3, that same quiet started to feel heavy. You don't realize how loud your life used to be until the silence starts whispering back. I'd catch myself standing in the kitchen, not remembering what I came in for. I stopped wearing my watch. There was nothing to be on time for anymore. The phone barely rang. No emails, no urgent tasks, just stillness. At first, I thought it was just an adjustment period, that maybe I needed to detox from the working world. But as the days blurred together, something else crept in, a kind of ache I didn't expect. I'd always imagined retirement as this golden chapter, a reward for a life of hard work. And in many ways, it was. But no one warned me that without a purpose, time becomes hollow. That without people, peace becomes isolation. That without routine, freedom becomes a slow unraveling. My calendar, once packed with meetings, birthdays, and reminders, now sat empty on the wall. Some days I'd forget what day it even was. Tuesday felt like Saturday. Saturday felt like nothing at all. I started talking to myself out loud, not out of habit, but because I missed the sound of a voice in the room. It's strange how fast life can go from full to quiet, and how that quiet can echo. But it wasn't just the silence that got to me. It was the realization that I'd spent decades preparing for retirement financially, but had given almost no thought to what it would mean emotionally. No one told me that freedom without connection can feel like a cage with the door left open. You can walk out, but you don't know where to go. And then one day, I opened the fridge to make lunch and realized I had bought the same 3 things for the past 5 weeks. No one to cook for. No appetite for anything new. I just stood there, staring at a half-empty shelf, and felt like I was staring at my life. I had planned for everything. Retirement accounts, home repairs, health insurance. But I hadn't planned for this, for the quiet, the stillness, the ache of disappearing from your own life. I didn't tell anyone how I was feeling. Not my kids, not my sister, not even my oldest friend Ruth, who calls every few weeks just to check in. Because how do you explain that your dream, the one you waited your whole life for, feels like a mistake? It felt embarrassing. Like I should be more grateful. Like I didn't have the right to feel this way. But the truth is, retirement didn't break me. The silence did. That long, unspoken space between breakfast and bedtime, where you're not needed by anyone, where no one texts you to ask for advice, no one needs you at a meeting, no one's expecting you anywhere, and no one really notices when you don't show up. I started to feel invisible. I wasn't depressed, not at first, but I was fading. Like a photo left too long in the sun. Still there, but a little less clear each day. One night, I turned on the TV for background noise and just let it play all night long. The chatter, the commercials, the hum, it made me feel like someone else was here with me. The next night, I did the same. And the night after that. I wasn't sleeping well. but I didn't want to face the quiet either. And then came the day I forgot to call my granddaughter on her birthday. I'd written it on the calendar, even bought the card. But I lost track of the days, and by the time I realized it, it was too late. She didn't mention it when I finally called, but her voice was a little flatter than usual, and that hurt more than I expected. That night, I sat at the kitchen table, same table where we used to eat spaghetti every Sunday night when the kids were little, where we played cards, where we blew out birthday candles, where we wrote checks and sorted bills and folded laundry. And I cried, not because of the birthday, but because I realized that somewhere along the way, I'd stopped living. I was waiting for something to fill the space, to make retirement feel like life again, but I had no idea where to begin. The next morning, I took a walk, not for exercise, not because I felt motivated, just because I couldn't sit in the quiet anymore. And about 3 blocks down, I passed a flyer taped to a telephone pole. Senior Book Club, Thursdays at 1 p.m., local library. I almost walked right past it. I hadn't read a book in months. Didn't want to sit in a room full of strangers. Didn't feel like making small talk. But I took the flyer anyway. I folded it in half, stuffed it in my coat pocket, and walked back home. Something small shifted that day. Not much, but enough. That Thursday, I stood outside the library doors at 12:57 p.m. I nearly turned around. I told myself maybe I'd just go in and look around, not actually sit through the meeting. But I walked in anyway. There were 12 people, a mix of men and women, all about my age. Some smiling, some silent, all strangers. A woman named Joanne offered me tea in a paper cup. The book they were discussing? One I hadn't read. But no one cared. I sat, listened, laughed once. Even said something by the end, though I don't remember what. And when the hour was up, someone turned to me and said, "Will we see you next week?" It wasn't a big moment. No fireworks. No magic. Just an invitation. And sometimes that's all it takes. The next week, I went back. And again after that. Joanne and I started getting coffee afterward. I found out she lost her husband 4 years ago, that she used to teach history, that she also went quiet after retirement, until one day she walked into this same room. I started going to the local community center, took a ceramics class, started cooking again, real food, not just toast and apples. My granddaughter started calling more, sometimes just to chat, sometimes to ask me how to make my chicken casserole. I began looking forward to mornings again. No, I wasn't busy. Not like before. Not like when work ruled my life. But I felt connected. Not to a job or a schedule, but to myself. And that was something I hadn't felt in a long time. I still have quiet days. Still feel that ache creep in sometimes. But I'm not afraid of the silence anymore. Because now, I know how to answer it. I plan for everything in retirement. The money, the health coverage, the paperwork. But I forgot to plan for the thing that matters most. Connection. To others. To meaning. And to the person I am now, not who I used to be. Retirement didn't ruin me. It just stripped everything away so I could finally meet myself. Not the version that worked 9 to 5. Not the mother, the wife, the manager. Just me. And for the first time in a long time, I kind of like her. If this story felt familiar, you're not alone. Leave a comment and share your experience. Someone out there might need to hear it. And if you found something meaningful in this, consider subscribing. We tell real stories for real life after 60.